Welcome to the Beer Ladies podcast with your hosts, Lisa, Katie, Christina, and myself, Tandy. You can find us at our website or all over social media. Our website is beerladiespodcast.com, and our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, TikTok, and even Facebook are at Beer Ladies Pod or Beer Ladies Podcast. If you'd like to support the show, you can find our merch store link on any of our social media bios or in the show notes for this episode. And if you'd like to sponsor an episode, do mail us at beerladiespodcast@gmail.com. Now back to the beer.
Hello and welcome to the annual Beer Ladies Eurovision episode, where we basically tell you everything you need to sound intelligent down the pub when you're talking Eurovision on Saturday night, okay? Well, Saturday week after this comes out. This will come out the Friday before. We're giving you plenty of time so that you can sound good for the semi-final 1 and semi-final 2 and for the final. This year is a very special year because myself and Lisa are actually going to Malmö.
Oh, we're so excited. We're so excited.
So jealous.
I just feel like it's been so far away for so long. I can't actually believe that the time is there. Does that make sense to anyone?
Oh, absolutely. It's been a long time coming because I feel like we had to book most stuff like almost a year ago to get a decent hotel and lock that in. And I've still got that thing where I'm nervous something will go wrong and they'll like cancel the booking to try to get a higher rate or something. But knock on wood, it seems okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys have tickets for the actual show, or are you going to be in the fan zone?
We have tickets for the what is traditionally known as the jury shows. So
yes.
On the final, it's the night before when the jury actually do their voting. So the jury don't vote on the Saturday night. It's only the televoters. The jury vote has already been in and counted. And same for the semi-finals. It's the night before. Now there's no jury voting anymore. It's all 100% televote for the semi-finals, so it doesn't really matter. But we will be somewhere. For the live shows.
Yeah, we've got our kind of Euro Club tickets, passes, whatever we want to call them, special train passes. Like we will be around, and we'll get into some of the other stuff we're going to do while we're in Malmö and in Copenhagen as well. So you're definitely going to share the love, but we're really looking forward to it. I think it is just going to be a big party. So
yeah. So let's start the party by saying, what are we drinking? I'm going to start with you, Tandy.
Alrighty. So, typically we try and find a beer from the country that is our top ranked. Well, I couldn't find that. It's a little bit, a little bit obscure, at least where we are. So what I do have, I've got 3 beers. So I won't probably drink all of them, but I'll tell you my first one is a product of Belgium and is this Bavik Super Vit.
Very good.
I like it.
And it's actually very refreshing. So I've got that in the glass at the moment. It's very refreshing. I'm enjoying it immensely. But I do have as well, I've got this Obolon. Has anyone seen this guy?
Oh.
Camera. For those seeing me on YouTube struggling to get my image right, it's because we've got backgrounds. But anyway, this is Obolon, and this, by the way, says the first Ukrainian beer.
Oh, interesting.
But it's a lager. It seems to be like one of the sort of, macro type lagers. And I just thought, well, I saw Ukraine and I was like, yes, let's just get something from that. And then why not? Because I do have a third one. This is from Mikkeller and it is a collab brew with Rabbit Hole Distillery. It is called Cave Hill, but I chose this because it's got this really cool, almost Alice in Wonderland-esque bunny vibes.
I saw this down the shops, yeah.
Yes, and interestingly, it's a Kentucky Common, which is a style you don't see very often. But I chose it because, on the one hand, Ireland, yay, we'll get to it. But on the other hand, I feel like this is a bit like going down the rabbit hole, And a lot of the entries this year are quite weird, or they've got a touch of weird to them. So, I wanted to embrace the madness a little bit by picking a very unusual style with some interesting branding.
Very good. How about you, Lisa?
So I've gone. I had Tandy, same problem. My number one pick could not find a beer from that country. We'll talk about it. I will say though, as a preview, I've had some pretty decent beers in that country, but I had to seek them out. So just saying, it's it's not maybe what they're best known for. But so what I do have today, I have the Garden Brewery, who are in Croatia, and this is a collaboration beer with Cierzo in Spain, probably Cierzo, so probably less of a dip. But because I really like Spain as well, we'll get into it. But I do have, and this is a hazy IPA, and it's hazy, but it's not quite as murky as some of them out there. So it's quite enjoyable. It says it's got heaps of Citra, Mosaic, Azaka, and Vic Secret hops. But I do like it's got a little bit of bitterness as well. Sometimes your hazy ones are kind of missing that. So it's nice to find one that does have that. So really enjoying this so far, again, from all the way in Croatia. But I don't have it next to the camera, but I do have it handy in case we need it. I also have an Irish beer that I thought might be on theme from the White Hag. People will see where this is going. Crown the witch. But I have the Dagda Extra Pale Ale as a sort of second beer off to the side. So just saying, it'd be actually amazing if they did like a collab with Bambi Thug. Just throwing that out there, guys. There's so much potential. But
look, there is potential. I don't think she'd be going, or sorry, I don't think they'd be going to a Mayo brewery though.
That's a fair point. Yeah, from Macroom, I think.
Yeah, so. I think it would be more like Original 7 or Blacks or someone down there maybe who might do a collab with them. So yeah. I also could not find a beer easily because I only started looking this week and I didn't plan because such is life. But I have a Danish beer, but it is somehow Eurovision adjacent. It's called Europhoria.
I love that.
I think that's awesome.
And I just thought I saw this in the shop a while back and I was like, I'm buying that and I'm saving it. So it's been in my fridge for ages and I've really wanted to drink it before now, but I'm drinking it now because it is our Eurovision episode and I'm so excited.
Yes.
And that is inspired, by the way, because I almost wanted to find a beer by Tull because I just love them as a brewery, but I really don't like the Danish entry. So on principle, I was like, no.
We'll discuss this. The number... Okay, I'm going to throw it out here for free already. Their song is called Unforgettable. In my mind, I'm calling them Forgettable Jedward. Sorry.
The most forgettable.
Sweden.
Not sorry. Sorry, Sweden. You're quite right. No, yes, Denmark is also boring. Sorry.
Boring.
She's a beautiful...
Denmark, she's
singer.
Beautiful and a lovely person, but the song would put you to sleep.
Yes.
Big time.
To be honest, in my opinion as well. Yeah, that's an IPA. It says IPA. I got this one because this is a collab between two European breweries. It is a grisette. It says Winter Affair Gossip. They seem to have been done a range, or they had a range anyway in Stephen Street News when I was there, between the Czech brewery Zikovec and the French brewery Les Intenables. Yeah, there we go. So
Very cool.
We'll see if we get to that later, or need to get up for work in the morning.
It's very pan-European though. Very nice.
We'll make a decision. We'll make a decision later on. So, ladies, how will we do this? I reckon, do we have a look at semi-final 1 entries, semi-final 2 entries, and then we will go through our ranking and rating. And I will say that between all of us, only 4 entries have we all voted on.
Yes.
So that would be...
I can't wait to see which ones.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I'm just going to say I had to add an awful lot for one specific person who is a bit... Tandy's like, me? Yes, you. But that's good. It's because we love all kinds of music here.
Yeah, we've clearly got different tastes, which I think is, part of what makes it fun.
Absolutely. And we will definitely go down a couple rabbit holes as we get through this year's. And again, for people listening at home, don't freak out. We're not going to go through every single one because there are a couple that are just not very good. And that's okay. We're just, we'll skip over those. So
I know. Okay, so semi-final 1. How about we all pick one that we like from it? and we'll try and pick different ones. So I'll go last. So who wants to go first?
Oh, Tandy, we want to hear yours. Come on. I think you should start.
Okay.
And I will say, I
Okay.
think this is the big semifinal. Like, I feel like there's some really interesting competition here. So
No, I actually, I
I
think
don't
they're
know
quite
about that.
evenly balanced. I think the
Yeah.
two semifinals, like I think last year semifinal one was stacked,
oh, sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
And this year I don't see that as strongly, to be honest. I see that
Maybe
a lot.
maybe there's more I don't like in semifinal too. So that might be what's influencing
Okay.
my thought there. So, but we'll get to it.
But first, can I say there's a couple of things that have changed this year, right? So for instance, Luxembourg in for the first time in
Yeah.
30 years, was it?
Yeah.
Something like that. So that's cool. Welcome back. And the auto qualifiers are actually playing in the semifinals.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I
I'm really
know.
curious to see how that goes.
I think that is awesome.
I don't. Well, I have opinions. I think it's awesome that we're hearing them at the semifinals, but I think they should be shown when the voting is on. I don't think they should be interspersed between the acts that we are voting for.
I see.
Yeah.
Because it could
No, I can
change
see
the
that.
running order and the things,
I just
or
don't get. I just think that I don't like the way that they're in between the running order. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. From semifinal one, my top ranked song in semifinal one is Slovenia. So this is one of
Okay.
those that kind of goes down the rabbit hole a little bit, because the song is quite weird. The video is even weirder, and I'm interested to see how it's going to go on stage. But she's got this, I don't know, there's something very unusual about it, and I like it. And I didn't like it initially.
I've had a lot this
sort
year
of
that I
grew
didn't
on
like
me.
initially that have grown on
Yes.
me. That's interesting
Yes.
because I usually
Yes.
stick with kind of my first impression. I've had a few growers this year.
I've had a few grows. So I'll go for Slovenia, and she's playing in sort of slot number 9, just after Germany, who actually I think is quite cool this year, if a bit slow, but I think the song is quite nice. I don't mind him. Don't mind him.
Okay, so Slovenia.
Yeah, that's my pick.
It's Slovenia. So we've heard of semi-final 1 being the Battle of the Witches.
Yes.
Yes, because who else is our witchy compatriot in semi-final 1 other than good old Bambi Thug from Ireland?
We're so thrilled. I love it. I've worn a dark lip today, in honor of them, trying my best here. And honestly, the more I've heard the song and in different kind of arrangements they've done it, the more I love it. And I'm so here for it. I love that it angers all the right people, and it's just fun and theatrical. And I just really like that it is, again, sometimes when you hear those rearrangements, they don't stand up. It feels a little gimmicky, but I feel like you can tell it is like an actual good song because it adapts and it sounds fun in different ways. So curious to see what they do on the night though, because I feel like it could go so many different ways.
So many ways.
Yeah.
But they've got a great song, and I do think it's a very big departure from what I know of Ireland in the last few years. Certainly, very big departure. There's accusations of Satanism and witchcraft and all of these kinds of things, which is probably not what you think of when you think of Ireland. But you know what? It's cool. I don't know if it's my favorite song, but I like the fact that it is completely different out there. There's some bravery. I like it.
Yeah, take risks, go for it.
Exactly.
Be all in. Yeah,
exactly.
I love it, and I love Bambi has, I think, become a bit of a fashion icon through all of the Eurovision pre-parties. I am loving their fashion and their vibes, and they just mix it up and are so different. But each of the outfits, they seem to tell a story, and there's always a story, and I love that it's not just random.
Yeah, it's not random, and there's drawing on kind of tradition. There's like ogham letters and things, and I'm like, oh, it's so cool, and it's such a neat mix of kind of very, very modern and kind of throwback folk horror type stuff, but which is my jam. So I love that kind of thing. So here for it. In fact, I looked up their drama school, dance school in the UK to see like, oh, they must be one of like the top alums they're talking about. No, they're talking about people who are doing like cut down Mamma Mia on a cruise ship. And again, fair play. That's work. You know, when you're first out of drama school, that is a job. Go for it. But I'm like, would you not be talking up the person who's on Eurovision? Like, come on, let's, you know, hopefully that will pick up. But you know, again, love the opportunity, and I want to hear what comes next. So
yeah, and so they have started rehearsals in Malmö, and there has been a little bit of the footage from that, and there seems to be a very hot, scantily clad person on the stage with Bampi. So
yeah,
looking forward to that.
I just want that Yeti guy from the video to be there.
Someone will be there. Someone will be there.
Didn't appear in the first rehearsal, but you'd never know. They might be trying different things, and by the time semi-final one comes around, they might have completely changed it. I don't know.
Now
We're
look,
looking forward to it.
I've not seen them do it live, so I didn't see the Late Late Show. I didn't see any of the other live performances, and somewhat deliberately, also somewhat because, you know, I'm lazy. But regardless, I'm really interested to see how it goes, you know, on stage, because it's quite a production. Like the music video is really cool. It's very almost Alice in Wonderland-y, and you know, very cool. I think that stage could make it or break it. But yes,
sure. No, I think that's totally fair, especially given, you know, let's be real, the low production values of the Late Late Show. I you know, I spent a lot of time, but I honestly think the country that came closest in terms of spending the least amount of money was Moldova. And I think Moldova this year is hot garbage. It's the ladies with the violins. I do not see that qualifying. But again, it's the lack of care from you know, the country's broadcaster, where you're like, come on.
Yeah. So we'll see. In fact, you know, I've only just noticed, excuse my ignorance, I've just noticed that Ukraine is in semi-final one, and they're actually higher ranked for me than Slovenia. So I'll just be pushing Ukraine over there with my little lager beer from them. I think they're very cool. So for those who haven't heard it yet, it's two women, and one is almost more folksy, folky, and one is kind of more of a rapper. And I don't know what it is, man, but Ukraine, just when they pull it out for me. This one for me is not as strong as a Kalush Orchestra or a Goe, but I think it's cool. I like the way they harmonize, and I think it's interesting and different. I dig it.
And I think, just like everything, you can watch all of the videos, you can watch all of their qualifiers, and you can listen to their songs on wherever you stream your music. But until you see them on the night, you can't make your decision, because you could love an act and they might bomb on the night, or you might not like an act, and then you see them on the night and you're like, oh my God, that was really good. Like, I was not a Goa fan until...
But that was amazing. Yeah, still
on the night, and then I was like, oh my God, that was absolutely fabulous. So you really, you can't predict it, really.
No, I agree. You can't. Although I must say, with Goa, I loved it from the music video stage. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I love it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just gonna shout out to my other fave in the semifinal, Croatia. I think Bookie's favorite or second favorite at this point. It is getting massive publicity. Now I'll say why, because I can see, Tandy, you're like, come on, really?
This baffles me a bit.
But I enjoy it for the following reasons. Like I do think they're leaning in a little bit to the novelty, although we'll get to novelty in a minute in this semifinal. But I feel like it's done with such kind of joy and a kind of real, like, leaning into it. But I also feel like they do have sort of, you know, kind of, if you like, honor the folk instrumentation. And I love that kind of thing. I'm always here for that. So I like that mix of that with the kind of electronica, you know, all of the things going on there. And they just seem really nice. Now, I will say, you know, my 9-year-old's favorite in this part is Finland. She's all in on Finland with Windows 95, man. And it is a lot of fun, but it's clearly just the novelty. Like, they're really just sort of saying, what is the most ludicrous thing we could do?
Yes.
And, you know, and fair play, you know, I'm like, why not? You know, have fun, go for it. But it's, will it even make the final, or will, because I feel like the jury will not like it. They'll just be like,
Croatia or Finland?
oh, Finland. I think
right.
Croatia will. I think Croatia will be through just fine, but Finland, I don't know.
My opinions on Croatia are that in Ireland, at least, it'll be a hit with the cultures if they actually listen to the words. Because it's like, I'm going to read some of the lyrics. I am a big boy now. I'm ready to leave. Ciao, mama, ciao. I'm a big boy now. I'm going away and I sold my cow. And it's like, right, every culture ever going to university or just going up to the big smoke, you know? It's like they can identify here with Baby Lasagna. Baby Lasagna
Fair.
is the name of the act.
Fair.
And if you haven't seen it, I don't know the name of the chain, but a Croatian supermarket chain did a bit of a skit with Baby Lasagna, where Baby Lasagna is in the supermarket and he starts looking at a frozen lasagna, and then all of the staff start dancing to the rim tim timmy tim rim tim diggy dim. Is that it? I'll just say it really fast and pretend I know what I'm saying. And then Baby Lasagna has to teach them all the right move, you know. So it's actually leaning in.
Yeah.
Like, I actually think it's a cool song, but I don't know. It's in my top 10. But I don't think for me it's like, okay, it's going to qualify. I don't think there's a question. I don't think it's going to win. There's no.
It might be.
I
do feel like if it's too hard on the novelty, you often don't win, because I do think the juries are a little. They think they're serious music arbiters, and it's like okay.
But that's another one where I think the staging will be really important, because the video does a really cool job of kind of selling the story and selling the everything of it. The staging, we'll see.
Yeah, and we've seen people churning butter. We've seen, it's got to be something that's a little bit more unique. Although I will say, I've also got kind of a dark horse in this semifinal with one I just think has been kind of growing on me, and that is Lithuania. And I don't know what it is about it, but I like it, because normally I'm not here for the man ballads, but that one it's got something going on. I enjoy it. So
I really enjoy Lithuania as well. Lithuania is a song called Luktau, which means wait, I believe, by Sylvester Bell or Sylvester Belt. Yeah. And I really, really like this song.
It's really grown on me. I love his weird shoulder pads. Like, it's just, it seems fun.
He's in my sort of like, he's not in my top 10, but close to it. So it's also sort of growing on me. At first, the first time I heard it, I was like, that's a garbage. And then I was like, wait,
like, it's not going to win. We know that.
No,
but I think it'll
but it's got
do
something.
Respectably. Yeah,
it's got something.
It will definitely qualify. Definitely qualify.
I think so.
No doubt about. In my opinion, at least. And Lisa, you were speaking there about the boy ballads. So last year really was the year of the boy ballads. And I don't think this year we have as many.
There are not
nearly as many. No.
I would call this year the year of the dance music.
I feel like it's specifically the girl dance bop. Like, it's a very specific, almost kind of 90s, early 2000s throwback kind of a thing. Because there are, I would say, 7 or 8 that are almost interchangeable to me.
Yes, I agree.
Definitely. I wouldn't say it's necessarily just girls, though, but
there does seem to be like a specific, and I know we'll probably get into it more, but then the second semifinal kind of girl power light kind of a thing. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But Katie, we need to hear your thoughts for this one, and then we also have to get into who we think is not going through from this one, because I've got a strong opinion on this one.
I'm looking, and I think we have mentioned nearly all of the songs that I am really liking from this semi-final. Maybe the one that we have not spoken about that it's borderline if it's going to qualify. I actually think Finland is great. I hope they qualify. I want them in the final. Because I love it. They have the eagle in the background.
Just fun.
I love that. It just inspires me, I get inspiration when I hear that eagle soaring. But I quite like a lot of all of the countries that you've already mentioned, except for Slovenia isn't up on my list, but there we go. We're all allowed to like different things. I'm kind of here for Poland and Luna and the Tower.
You know what? That's really grown on me. It's grown on me.
Okay, so this one, the first time I heard Poland, I was like, yes, they're sending a person who can actually sing this year.
Right.
Yay. And she has got this it's almost like if you could imagine a Polish person, that's what they would look like. I don't, that sounds very stereotypical, but she really does look like the epitome of a Polish woman. I think she's great. I have heard, however, on other podcasts that in the live performances, her voice isn't as good. So I'm going to take this one with a healthy dose of skepticism because I actually think the song is really cool. But we'll see.
And we know kind of what the staging is going to be just from the name of the song. Like the tower, there's going to be people on things. That's, it can only be that. But
and I loved on someone, I don't know the name of the account that did it on Twitter, but in the video for this, there's people playing chess. If you saw it, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that move came after that. That's an illegal move. You can't do that. And it was like going through all of the bad decisions that are made in the chess.
Oh, funny.
So,
that's funny.
Yeah. And then it turns into drafts. And you're like, we need consistency here. And I was like, I didn't even realize this. And it was, it was the thread on Twitter that I didn't know I needed.
And I love that.
I really enjoyed it.
I will say as well, like related, like similar to Poland, Serbia's one I didn't like at first, but that has grown on me. That I do feel like might be kind of like we saw last year, the year before, like the TikTok breakout, where it's just kind of very straight up pop, may cross over into what the normals go for. So
I was very bored by Serbia's entry this year.
But that's what the normals like. That's it.
But a little disappointing because now I've come to know them as people who send interesting acts. So I was a bit,
no, that's fair.
But meh on that one.
Yeah.
Well, who I do like from semi-final one though is our returning guests, Luxembourg. I actually of the sort of dancey, boppy, like anthemy things. I actually quite like Tully's Fighter from Luxembourg. She there's two of them. Yeah. Of the sort of almost 90s Euro trashy dancey things that came into my peripheral, and hers was one and Austria was the other one, but we'll get to that one.
Yeah. And speaking of letting the side down, let's talk about Sweden for a minute.
Oh,
your hosts again, forgettable Jedward. And this is why it's confusing to me because I want to say they're Norwegian, if I'm remembering correctly.
They are.
And I know friend of the pod, Charlotte, has said, no, they've been around on, various TV things since they were, tiny, they're twins. And it's so boring. And in the year when we're celebrating, ABBA 50 years, you're like, and Sweden picked like the most boring thing possible. So
they could have sent anything. It's okay because, in a way, they were probably not going to win twice in a row, but they didn't have to send their worst contender in.
I know, and like Melodian Fest is a big deal in Sweden, and I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't get
it. I was here for some of the other acts. I really like Medina,
there were some really good ones.
Really good ones. Anyway,
I am wearing my lovely horse T-shirt. This is all I can think of as they didn't want to win 2 years in a row. Here we are.
There is, when I saw them, they reminded me a little bit of a very, very bad version of, Jedward, yes, but there's a South African band called Lockenville, and they're also twin brothers, and they have a song called 6 Second Poison, which is also about like a woman who's, intoxicating, and that song is awesome. Like that would have been a great song. And I looked at these two and I was like,
yeah. They were automatic qualifiers though, so they don't have to get through. Another country who I don't think won't be getting through is Iceland. I think
same. It's like they're on a cruise ship, and I don't mean that to bash people who work on cruise ships. That's a hard job to be a cruise ship performer, but it's so feels dated. It just
sounds like an entry Ireland would have sent.
Ouch.
Iceland and Australia this year have got for me almost the worst songs of the whole festival, of the whole lineup. And maybe it's just because, you know what it is, we've spoken about this before. I do not like a song that sounds gospel-y, and both of them to me sound gospel-y in some way.
I see what you mean.
I hate them. I hate them.
Yeah,
Bit of
just not for me.
gospel. I just like a good song. If it's good gospel, it's okay. But these are
It's
not
not.
good.
No.
They're not
Yeah,
good.
so
No.
no. So there's a few countries we haven't mentioned because they're not great either. Like
Yeah.
Or
Moldova,
they're mid,
Azerbaijan. They're
Eh,
very mid, yeah. And
very
I
mid.
just think that maybe culturally we are very into very different music, or we've been exposed to very different music, and I think maybe that is why a lot of the Eastern European countries or Far Eastern European countries struggle a little bit with Western countries. Maybe if we were geographically closer to them, we might identify with their music a little bit more. I'm not sure.
I don't know,
maybe.
because Ukraine seems to always do well.
That's
And
true.
they are fabulous this year. It is a fabulous, and if they pull it out of the bag, top 5, top 3, I don't know.
I don't know if they'll go that far. Like, I really like Ukraine's entry, but I don't think it's going to be as popular with, juries and televote as previous years. Definitely not. But I think it's great.
Okay. And
All
you know
right.
what? There's a few little acts in there for what I say for the daddies to keep them happy as well. But we won't go into that, like Cyprus, and we
Ugh.
won't go into them. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Cyprus has a
Okay, will we
formula. They
move
just
on
stick to
to
it.
will we
Yeah.
move on to semi-final 2?
Let's do it.
Yes. Let's do
Semi-final.
it.
Oh, my favorite isn't the best semi-final. My winner of the contest is in
Yeah,
semi-final 2.
my top 2 are in semi-final 2 as well.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I have to look at the sheet. So I'm going to start off.
You do
I
it.
absolutely love Switzerland.
Same. I love it. I
Oh
love
my
it.
good God, Nemo has taken my heart. They are fabulous. I love their song. I love all of the different genres of music that they managed to get into one song. I love the lyrics. I love the story that it tells. I love the meaning behind the lyrics. So Nemo is a non-binary singer from Switzerland, and the song is called The Code. And I love like lines like somewhere between the ones and O's, I found my kingdom come. So basically, because I'm not binary, that's where I found myself. And it's all about their struggles and how they've been on a journey. And I think that the video that they came out with was really, really good. They're on a train carriage, and as they move from carriage to carriage, it kind of completely matches the change in genre for the music. So they go from regular pop to opera to rap. I think it's fabulous.
I love
and
it
I
for the
think
same reasons. Yeah.
I think it'll do. I don't think it'll win the televote, but I think it will win the jury. I hope it will win the jury vote.
It may well do.
It'll
I
just
do think it'll
well
get.
enough.
It'll depend on the night. Again, like we were saying, it'll depend on the performance on the
Yeah.
night, because like you say, there's so many different kind of genres. It can be a hard one to pull off, but I think they're amazing. Just like, and again, it seems so joyous, and I think
Yes.
that's the nice. We want to see that, that kind of expression. Like, again, there's always a couple, sad man ballads. Not my thing, but I love the ones that are just fun and joy, and here for it.
I like Switzerland as well. It's not up in my top 5, but I really do like it. Cool song, and it kind of grows on me the more I listen to it. Very cool. Here for it.
Okay, who wants to go next? Do you want to go Pandy again? Because I know you have.
I'll go. Yeah, my top 2 are here. My top 2.
Yeah,
okay,
go on.
My top 2. So second place is Norway, and I think that Norway is just awesome, but it's going to be probably a little Marmite, for I think people will love it or hate it, because it's got sort of folksy, metal, witchy kind of dark forest vibes. I really like it. I'm hoping that her voice stays strong throughout the performance, because it's a really cool song. I think it's awesome, and it's got such interesting lyrics. If you look at the translations, it's very cool, very folk, dark folk vibes. I like it a lot. So that's my number 2. My number 1 is, and this interestingly has not changed from the first listen. I picked Estonia. That's my favorite this year.
I didn't put it in my top sort of things, but I really like it. And the more I hear it, the more it grows on me. Again, There's some weird folk instrumentation, but with hip
Yep.
hop and electronic, like lots
And
going on there, and I like it. I like
and
it.
a little bit of almost what I'd say is like throat singing, almost
Yeah.
like Mongolian style throat singing. There is
Yeah.
elements of it which I just think is super cool, but quite modern and fresh. It's not just folksy or folky. I think it is awesome, and I think it's got the potential to be like a bit of a party starter like vibe. I think it's super, super, super cool. It's been my favorite since I heard it.
I like that. I like it's a little bit left field, but I like it. But I have to
Mm.
like follow up because I love Norway. Again, this is my jam. This is if you ask ChatGPT to make something for me. This is for me because it's got like weird medieval shit in it. It's got, amazing singing. It's got all your folk instrumentation, but it's also got this sort of electronic, like prog rock kind of thing at the same time. Like you said, sort of dark forest vibes. Like, again, it's like sort of hauntological, all the things that, are sort of custom designed for me. And, the more I listen to it, the more I think about how back in quick story time though, back in the 1990s, I won a contest where I got $1,000 worth of free CDs, which at the time was like a big deal. And everything I got was like weird medieval folk stuff because, I'm a normal person. That's what normal people buy. So I got like all the sort of medieval Icelandic stuff, like all this sort of, early modern stuff that, again, I understand normal people don't go for, but this is exactly the kind of thing that is kind of the next generation of that, if you like. But I also love that they're a band that's been around for a long time, just doing weird shit. And I am so here for bands who are just like, this is us. Take it or leave it. And, it's all a bit ethereal. And I think it'll do well in the jury, again, if they have a good performance. So,
Yes.
Yeah, it does depend on the performance because this could go either way. I do think they'll definitely qualify.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it will depend on the performance. And I do think it could be like this year's like Constrata, if you know what I mean.
It could be. It could be.
It does definitely get under your skin in a kind of a way, if you know what I mean.
I really,
When you're
really
listening
like it.
to it. Definitely.
Yeah. It's also, this is one of those where Lisa, I'm with you. It could have been designed for me in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
It's got all the right stuff and a little bit of the cool hardcore elements.
Absolutely.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I feel like, Enya down in her castle might hear it and be like, oh, my spiritual, sort of successors, good for them. Good for them.
Yes,
So I hope she
very
enjoys
cool.
it, just putting that out there.
Okay, I'm going to group-ish the next two acts together because they're kind of similar in a way. They're also very, very different. Austria and the Netherlands.
Ooh,
Okay, those
that's
are
an
very
interesting
different.
grouping. Wow.
That is
yeah.
very different.
So,
Very.
they are both 90s dance bangers.
Okay. Austria, yes. That is for me the quintessential retro 90s banger vibe. I love it, by the way. It's absolutely in my top 10. I think it is awesome. Netherlands is quite near the bottom for me. I hate it.
I enjoy it.
Netherlands
I
is
enjoy it.
absolutely fabulous and I love it. I love Just, much to the chagrin of Charlotte.
Sorry,
from
Charlotte,
Belgium.
we like it.
Hello,
Yes.
Charlotte. We love it. I went to the OJ Eurovision evening recently in the Odeon, and my God, when you have a room full of people and we're all going, Euro, pa, 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 pa.
Yeah.
It was absolutely fabulous. And it was just like, oh my God, this could be amazing.
You know what? I will
I enjoy
concede that because I think it could be one of those that on the night feels exactly right. And it'll get people bouncing and moving and stuff. But just listening to it and seeing the video, I was like, no, not for me.
Yeah, it's definitely for me. This is one of my songs.
But
Netherlands above Austria.
Interesting. No, I think Austria is better, but I do think Austria is much more mainstream, so it'll be a little bit more forgettable in that sense than Netherlands. I think Netherlands is going to be much more remarkable. But what was I going to say now? I forgot. Never mind.
It doesn't matter.
San Marino. I really enjoy San Marino. Tandy, what's your take? Yes or no?
Right. It was in my top 10, but then a few things edged it out because I think it's cool.
Interesting.
And thank goodness San Marino sent something with personality.
Right. Oh yeah, because they're not normally a country I go for, and I want to say they're actually are they Italian? I forget where they're from.
We Spanish.
They're Spanish. Okay.
Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're
Megara.
in my top 15. I quite like them. I think that they've got cool vibes. It again comes down to the stage performance. I don't know how they're going to replicate the energy they've got in the video, like on stage with much fewer people, because the video is awesome and it's I mean, for lack of a better term, it's like an orgy of brilliance. It's just like, you know, the lots of things happening all the time with loads of people. Will it translate? Don't know, but I think it's a cool song.
No, that's fair. And speaking of like where the video is just really on point, and where I really enjoy it is Armenia, which again, not a country I would historically go for, but I love that she as an artist has upset like your men's rights activist type of people. So yay. There's a chicken in it. You know, all of these things are good, but it is a very specific kind of thing. So it may not go through, but I enjoy it. So I don't know.
My comment on Armenia was all kinds of everything. I don't know if it's good or bad. We'll have to wait and see.
That's
yes. I liked it enough, and I hope that, I mean, they'll both come because they're a band, but I like the fact that they're both there because he plays about 7 instruments in that song, or at least in the video, and I thought that was cool because it's a little bit of something, but a little bit of even Bollywood style kind of dancing and things in there. Interesting. So I thought it was quite cool, but it's not really. It's in my top 20, but it could do something.
Have we mentioned everyone in the top? There's a boy ballad or 2 in there, and then there's the
and I'll just say Spain
numbers
as well because I enjoy it. I feel like it may not qualify, but I do enjoy it.
Spain also.
Oh, sorry, they
auto
qualify. You're quite
auto.
right. You're quite right. Yeah, I did enjoy the national final though, where they had dudes and assless chaps. Always always a mark of quality. So, but the video is a lot of fun. The video is a lot of fun.
Spain is dreadful.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I think it's fun. It's not in my top, anything, but I enjoy it. I think it's a bop. But where are we on Belgium? I know, Tandy, you mentioned
like Belgium. I like Belgium actually. They're my number 4, and I think it's great. Like I wish the song built up to the really powerful sort of indie, but a little quicker.
This is my one concern is that it takes a while to build it. And again, I'm here for tech dudes throwing glitter all over themselves. I'm like, this is fine. No complaints.
I think it's great. I actually really like that song, and it was also one of those that initially I wasn't quite sure of, but it's got some power to it. I like it.
Yeah. Now, Katie, I know you are a big fan of Czechia. You still on Team Czechia? Okay. Yes.
I am on. They are in my top 5. Czechia.
Very nice.
I absolutely love it. It has, for me, to describe it to other people, where I think that Spain has like kind of Dua Lipa vibes. And I think,
interesting.
You know what I mean? I think Czechia have Avril Lavigne vibes,
Ah, interesting. Okay.
And I really feel like the lyrics of this speak to me. And I don't know, maybe it's, I'm just at that stage of life where it's like, your sorry means nothing when everything else stays the same. And it's like, yeah, you talk the talk, but you're not changing at all. And then it's basically, it's a story about a girl coming out of a relationship and saying, I need to learn to put myself on a pedestal. I will be loving me more. I won't sing for you because you'll just turn it off this podcast if I do. But I absolutely think we'll have to see how Aiko perform on the night. I absolutely love it. And
I think it's cool.
Yeah,
I think it's a good song.
I'm there. I hope it qualifies.
It just didn't crack my top 10, but I do think it'll qualify. Definitely.
I hope
it's a good song. It's a good song.
Okay, have we mentioned all the ones we like in semi-final 2? I'm looking. Yeah, there's 1 or 2 others there that are doing well in the odds that just didn't do it for me.
There are a few I don't love.
Okay. Let's talk about Italy because I think that both of you weren't a big fan of Italy. I actually think Italy is quite cool.
Interesting. Okay, because if I understood why, so unpack it for me because I'm not getting it. So
I don't know. It's like it's almost meant to be a bit of a girl bop, but it's got something different, and I like it.
Okay.
And also, I like her kind of styling and her weird vibes. she's got a bit of a Medusa thing going on, at least in the
Yeah, the
video.
hair is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know,
Yeah.
it lends something. And I've now listened to it without seeing the video as well as seeing the video, and I like it even without the video. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I'm enjoying it actually. Yeah.
Because Italy are currently top of the odds, and they do not
Baffles me.
feature in
That
none of
yeah.
us put them in our top 10. And I'm kind of baffled. And Greece are doing well in the odds as well, and I don't get Greece.
A
Okay,
lot
so
of the
Greece.
Mediterranean ones this year are not for me. You know, just
I don't
I
know.
thought
And then I
I
was
thought I was
talking,
gonna like Greece, and I just don't know if I do, you know.
I don't know. I was talking to Lisa before this because I've written off Chanel before, and I've written off
sure.
Blanca before last year. Baby,
Well,
you know. So I'm
but
sorry.
again,
She pulled it out of the bag. I will not have a bad word said about Blanca. She started off terrible, but you know what? She performed. She brought it. And then I'm like, have I got a bias against dance girls or something? I don't know.
but I feel like
And
there are other
maybe
dance
that
girls who have a little more going on. You know, like
Austria for me is a better dance girl. But it's not. She's
you
not
think,
gonna. It's just a dance song, I guess. But I don't. I
yeah.
do. I think Italy's actually really cool. I don't know if it should be at the top of the odds, but it's cool. Maybe it's because it's like the first time they've sent a woman in a million years.
that. I mean, there could be something in that. That's a good point. I mean,
Yeah.
France too. They've sent a man as a sort of change, and it's
God, can
he's
we talk
clearly
about a
very
boring
talented,
France
and
song?
it's so boring. It's so boring.
I like it.
He's
I
clearly
think it's a
very
really
talented.
lovely
It doesn't do anything
French
for me.
ballad. Right. Let us
Does
move
nothing for
on.
me.
Let's move on. And before we come to the beer ladies top, whatever we decide when we decide to stop, there were one or two changes this year in that the
Yes.
running order of the final is slightly different. So when the qualifiers qualify, what's going to happen is they're going to pick a ball like you do on a football thing or something like that. And 6 of the positions are going to be first half, 6 of the positions are going to be second half, and then 13 are going to be producer's choice.
It's very strange. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I
What's
don't
the
love
point
it.
of this?
It's for the running order so that the producers might have more of a chance to slot in, you know, maybe songs that need less staging, that are easier
That I get.
after an ad break or after an interval, or maybe to put more family friendly songs at the start. I don't know. I would prefer it all to be first half, second half draw, and then the producers just pick the order to do the staging and stuff. I don't know why we need 13 producers' choice.
It seems a lot. Yeah.
It sounds like a change that is just a change for a change's sake.
Yeah, I mean, I get, but I feel like it's almost like, haven't they kind of been doing this all along anyway? But maybe they're just kind of saying it. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, look, they always do try. I guess they're thinking about the staging efforts. They're also thinking about, not putting too many ballads right next to each other because, they don't have impact if they're like that. Or maybe because this year's got quite a lot of entries that do sound a bit the same, maybe they needed a little bit of extra control to try and break it up a little, Maybe it's just that.
It's especially if you look, I think honestly at the second semifinal, that's actually sort of a like object lesson in that, because I feel like the first couple in semifinal 2 are just so like Malta, Albania, Greece to me are all kind of much of a muchness. Like I couldn't tell them apart if I, unless they were sort of identified for me. So, and again, I think that's kind of a theme this year. We said we have this X number of kind of dance pop hits, which are all kind of the same. And yeah. So
yeah. No, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm actually looking forward to seeing the automatic qualifiers in the semifinals, even if you can't vote for them, even if it's not going to make a difference. I think it gives a more complete picture to the group.
That's a good point. And I do think it's going to be interesting to see how they might change in a way that we didn't get to see before. Because again, I'm going to use the UK as an example. I love Ollie Alexander. I think his song is boring as hell. And I don't understand why they've chosen it, because I think he could do much more interesting stuff. So talented, and love him. But it does nothing for me. So you have to kind of think it maybe gives the big countries a little extra time to tweak their staging and, get
Get
the
more of a
performance.
reaction.
Yeah.
So say this wasn't working.
If you to now just put money on who's going to win Eurovision, who would it be?
It's interesting because I feel like I feel like the bookies are wrong, and I think it's Switzerland. So
same. I'm hoping. Well, I don't know. It's just the Swiss song talks to me, and I think it will do well with the jury. I don't think it'll win the televote, but I think it will do well enough in all the countries that the jury vote, and doing well enough will be enough.
yeah, it may well do. Now, then, if we look forward to next year and think, oh Christ, everyone has to pay to go to Switzerland for Eurovision. I mean, that's no one wants this, but if that's the price to pay, just saying it's no more expensive than going to Cork, say, for a weekend. Just putting that out there.
I don't know. I don't know. It depends on which city they choose.
Fair, yeah.
In Switzerland.
Yeah.
Right. Will we do our top 10, the Beer Ladies top 10?
Oh, yes. I'm so curious to hear how it shakes out. Yes.
Yes, me too. I want to see what you guys have all chosen.
That is 10. Okay. 1 point from the Beer Ladies is 2 of our Beer Ladies voted for this song. It is Finland with No Rules, Windows 95 Man. And fun fact, you're not allowed to have branding on the Eurovision stage. So you are going to see Windows 95 Man's t-shirt is going to be blurred. The image is going to be blurred so that he's printed a pixelated version of it, so that the cameras don't have to blur it out, which I think is funny. Now look, I must say I've got thoughts on Finland, right? Because when I first saw it, I was like, okay, they're absolutely gunning to win. Because this is just the kind of weird shit that actually could win, totally. But I think that the vocal is a little weak.
I think that's a fair criticism. So,
and it's not Windows 95 Man that does the majority of the vocals.
Right.
It's
the guest singer. I forget his name.
Pispanen.
Yes,
there you go.
Like I actually think that Windows 95 Man would win, but the vocalist.
And all I have said here in my notes is quadruple denim.
Lots of denim.
Actually, it reminded me of that Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake denim red carpet look. Go look at that, because she was wearing, I think, this like jacket thing of all the denim. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. But I think it's cool. Like I think it's novel and it's cool, but it's like Koreana budget. Like
that's kind of thing. It's like it almost worked last year, and it probably should have, but here we are.
And I do think he was robbed. So they're clearly sticking to their formula of sending, the weird batshit crazy thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works. Put it this way, I wouldn't be upset if they won.
Fair.
Same. Okay, so next on our list, and this has only been voted for by one of the Beer Ladies, it is Belgium, Musty with Before the Party's Over.
I did think about voting for it because I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I do like it. So it's not that I don't like it.
And I do think
it's quite high on my list. I think it's a great song.
Do you call this a power ballad?
Ooh.
So I had a dispute with somebody. I called it a power ballad. I was told, no way, Katie, it's not a power ballad. Musty is famous in Belgium for Drag Race, apparently.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Haven't been exposed to it, but there you go. But I think it's a powerful song. I
think so. I think it's awesome. If they can just tweak it a little bit so that the big part comes a little sooner, because if you're sort of listening through the first 2 verses and they kind of sound the same, you'd almost get up to go and refill your drink, but then you'd miss the best part.
But then it kicks in, absolutely.
God, it's brilliant once it's really pretty. So anyway, I voted for that quite high because I think it's great.
Okay. Next one on our list is only one of us voted for this one. It's Czechia. That would be me.
And it has grown on me. It has grown on me. So I didn't like it at first, but
it just didn't crack my top 10, but I do like it.
And you know what? It will totally depend on the vocals on the night and the performance on the night. It might crash and burn, or it might be great. Right. Next one, two of our beer ladies really liked enough to vote for Lithuania. Look,
I enjoy
Sylvester
it.
Belt.
Yeah.
I love it. I do like it a lot.
It's growing on me. Now, my voting might change in the end, but it is
Yeah?
it is growing on me because currently it's not my top 10, but it's top 15 or so.
Okay, we spoke about them. Next one is Estonia.
Yes.
And I do like it. Again,
Ooh.
that and Belgium are ones that are just on the cusp of my list. I really enjoy them. So
Yeah, Estonia is my absolute clear favorite. I'd be thrilled if they won. I don't think
my
they will,
God.
but I'd be thrilled.
Can you imagine though? Eurovision in Estonia would be fantastic. Oh, that would be great.
Yes,
That would be
Yeah,
quite fun,
that
you
would
know.
be fabulous.
Yeah, affordable-ish hotels, like yeah.
And you know, it would be a country that maybe wouldn't be on the list on the old bucket list before Eurovision, but why not? Like,
And there's some interesting beer there, and we will talk a little bit more about beer on our travels, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Oh, yes, actually. I've nearly forgotten about that. Next one is the first of our entries that all four of us voted for, and it is Baby Lasagna.
Woo!
yeah,
Woo,
yeah,
for Croatia.
good old Croatia. It's an interesting enough song that I think it could do well. It's also mainstream enough that I think it will appeal to a lot of people. But I like it. I think it's it's got a little bit of almost like emo, like kind of rock emo vibes with a bit of folk, with a little bit of everything. I like it. It's cool.
And it does have a dance break, right?
It
Has a
does.
dance break. Yes.
See what Baby Lasagna does with the dance break. And one of the famous lines is meow cats, meow back, is it?
It's like I meow at my cat. I hope he meows back.
Yeah, something like
And
that.
and of course I love that line.
It's very good.
Cat mad.
Look, he's just going for all the cat lovers, trying to get the cat lover
Yes.
vote, which you know what he might get. Now we are into our top five, and number 5
Ooh.
in our top 5 is Bambi Thug.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We
So
have
we all voted for
all
Bambi Thug.
voted for them. Yeah, we all voted for Bambi. Look, I swear, even qualifying is going to like put all of those Jesus people back in their box, you know?
Okay, let's put in a little prediction here into the old beer ladies, way back machine. But like, I actually think Bambi Thug will qualify.
Yeah.
And I think they will finish
Left-hand side of the board.
Left-hand side of the board. I do.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I do.
hope so.
I think so.
I agree.
would hope so.
I agree, and I really hope so. Are
I
we
hope
all
so.
in? Are we all putting our reputation on the line there?
Oh,
up for it?
definitely. Now, if we
Certainly our hopes and dreams.
if we dare to dream for a minute, how could RTE fuck it up? Where could they host it that it would be like the most inconvenient for everyone? Like, in
Well,
the
there's
country.
no trains in Donegal.
Ah!
And
Oh my God, can you
Donegal.
imagine?
That's it. You're right. You're right.
They'd have it like at like a, I don't know, like a mart in Donegal or something. Like, can you imagine?
Although there's some good beer up there. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I just really hope that it's not the Leslie Roy stage people that are doing this act, because this one really does need good staging.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
please don't skimp.
Hey, top 4. Our 4th from the top is Ukraine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very powerful song. I think they can deliver it well, and it can be amazing on the night. And Ukraine really do deliver really, really well every single time.
They
You
do.
know?
I mean, look, to be fair, last year's Ukraine entry was a bit shit, like a bit snoozy. I didn't like it.
liked it.
I didn't love last year's either. And honestly, I don't love this year's as much as I love like Goa. Like, yeah, that was that was my
And
jam.
obviously Kalush, like, oh gosh.
Yeah, love that.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
But no, last year's was a bit of a snooze fest. This year, I think it's awesome. But yeah, it would be nice to see something a little bit more visual, because the video at least has them performing live, which tells me that their voices are good. But the staging needs to be a bit, refined.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, we are into our top 3.
Awesome.
Number 3 is Europapa for Netherlands. Tandy is like,
oh, Tandy's shaking her head.
How did that get in there?
Oh
Come on,
God,
Tandy,
I can't
you have
believe
to.
it.
You just have to drink the Kool-Aid and get on the juice train.
Ooh, okay.
You're like, no.
No.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I like it.
It could be really fun. It could be really fun. But, no, it was a bit cringy to me.
It is. If you're on social media like TikTok or Insta, you can see Juice is sharing videos where Korea is his coach.
Yes.
And training him in on stuff, and they're just really entertaining and lovely.
They are.
I really like it.
And Korea has a new song where he's dressed as a chicken. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh. I love him.
Okay.
Though, to be fair, yes.
Top 2. So sorry, number 2 is Norway.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm gonna try and pronounce it. Oh, where have I written it down? Uve. How do I pronounce it?
Ulvaham.
Do we know?
Maybe.
Ulvaha. It means wolf, does it?
Yes. And there's lots of, drinking my brother's blood and, all sorts of...
Yeah, it's all medieval.
It's wonderful.
It's great.
Wonderful.
So here for it. Yes.
Yes.
It is wonderful. I think it'll do well.
Yes.
And then Norway was the third song that we all 4 of us voted for. And all 4 of us voted for our number 1 song. 2 of us gave it our 12 points. So coming in number 1 for the beer ladies is Nemo the Code from Switzerland. So,
and to be fair, I did give old Switzerland 1 point. I know it feels a bit light, but I think it'll do well. I do.
I'm excited.
Okay. It's a great
song.
Yeah. Do we want to predict a televote winner?
Oh, I do feel like we're going to see that disparity again this year. I think the televote is going to be something, and I'm air quoting, fun, and that the jury will pick something more serious, as seems to be their want for the past however long.
So here's what we've seen, right? The odds, they often tend to predict the jury winner. So maybe jury's going to go Italy, and maybe televote will go Switzerland or Finland or Norway or Estonia, because I'm throwing them in there.
Interesting.
Oh, I'm thinking Croatia, Netherlands will be in there as well.
I'm thinking also Croatia or Netherlands for the televote. Jury vote, though.
You guys could be right, of course.
I don't know.
Yeah, you could be right.
Jury vote, I think Switzerland, Italy just hasn't hit it with me, but maybe the jury will go with Italy. I think Ukraine are going to do really well with the jury. Norway could do really well with the jury as well.
Yeah, I think Norway will do well. I think we're now seeing the wheel has kind of turned where you're getting more of the votes for people not singing in English from the juries, whereas before I think they were like, oh, it has to be in English, and now we're seeing kind of the opposite. So, but it's not the only one by any means this year, but I do think it's got such a story about it that it'll hit for them. And again, and then they can feel like they're intellectuals. That's what they want, and it's it's a thing.
Oh, that's so funny.
So that's our voting, and I suppose, have we anything to add about going to Malmö Hagen as
Malmö Hagen?
Malmö Hagen. There we go.
Well,
I
think
we
want to hear from you, the listener. What are places we should hit up? We already have a list of things from Erica. Hello, Erica, because I know she's just been. And I've been to a lot of the Carlsberg joints in Copenhagen in the past, but now they're reopened after doing, God, I want to say like 5 years of renovation and all kinds of stuff there. So keen to give that a shot as well. But yeah, I think we'd love to hear what other people recommend. And Katie, we're going to go to a beer festival in addition to Eurovision, because
I know
we are doing
gluttons for punishment. We are gluttons for punishment. We are going to go to a beer festival on the Friday. Right, Mikkeller Beer Festival in Copenhagen, and we'll be hammered. Yeah,
and it's a funny mix of breweries I wouldn't expect to be there and things I've never heard of. So I feel like that can go in so many directions, but I also feel like it almost kind of limits the FOMO, because I'm like, if I don't know, like I don't feel like I have to try everything. So there you go. But we'll try to get a park run in as well. So we're gonna try to get
it's very ambitious,
very rounded.
We're gonna try and get our park run in, because it's a holiday on the Wednesday in Denmark.
Thursday, I think.
So we're gonna
Thursday.
Oh, was it Thursday? We're going to try and get our parkrun in that day, not on the Saturday morning after being at a beer festival day before.
Okay, that
oh
makes
my
a lot
God.
more sense.
I would be dead. You'd have to carry me across the line. I'd be crawling.
I think it's
we're
great,
gonna be
and I
very
think you should
We'll
bring me a
hydrate.
T-shirt.
Oh,
from somewhere along the way. Yes.
Which T-shirt do you like? This is my original J-Lo T-shirt. And I've had people going, "It's in the thing," and I'm like, "Oh my God, you're so young," and it makes me feel a bit old. It is Johnny Logan, of course, if you can see it there. He is the original J-Lo.
I'll tell you a Johnny Logan story when we're done recording. The rest of our listeners will be like, "What's wrong with you?" But we'll chat after we finish.
Oh, I think we need to finish now because I really want to know. No. Have we anything else to say? So we are predicting Switzerland jointly.
Switzerland. So
through
folks,
all our
start saving now so you can afford a hotel. Yeah.
I suppose. So that's it.
Yeah,
And
I think it's a good prediction.
Yeah. If you want to follow us on Instagram and Threads, we're not on Twitter anymore, are we?
It's
No.
there, but we're not.
We're
really
gone. We're
updating
not
it.
using it. So please follow us on Instagram or Threads where we do most of our things. And are we going to try and resurrect the TikTok, Lisa?
We might do the
when we're over
odd
there?
the odd little video just as we see things,
We're not
or
committing to anything, but we
No.
might try. Okay.
we might try.
So
We'll
keep
definitely
an
put some
eye out
stuff
for us.
on the Instas. We'll put some stuff on the Instas. That will be very
Definitely.
doable.
Put some reels
So
up.
We'll try.
yeah,
Yeah.
follow us. We will be dancing.
Follow us.
And drinking
Send us
and singing.
recommendations because I know a lot of places in other parts of Denmark, but Malmö's all new to me. Swedish beer, let me know. So we want to hear.
Yeah, Malmö. Yeah. Well, Malmö Brewing Company are gone Eurovision for the week.
Yes.
I got their
So excited.
program and it's fabulous. They have like an ABBA night. They have Eurovision karaoke. They're showing the semi-finals and the final. And I'm just like, I think I might be there. And they've 30 taps.
But now we still don't know if ABBA are going to actually appear at Eurovision, right?
It's all very cagey,
No.
But
Maybe
they'll
their
do it
avatars.
It sounded like they were absolutely against it, but how could they not?
I feel like at
Well,
least
they're
Benny and Bjorn
old,
may come and chat, Frida and Agneta may be like, we'll just watch. We'll see, though. We'll see.
Maybe be in the audience. It would
Could
be
be.
lovely because I'll still say it. Loreen was great, but I still think this one was completely
Yes.
rigged just so that it was going to be in Sweden.
We all agree, and yes, Loreen was great, but yes.
Okay.
So they better bloody do something, old ABBA, because it's actually because of them.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, surely is everything
Finland
not
was
because of
robbed.
ABBA in some way? I mean, that's and I'm happy with ABBA being the the secret power behind everything. Let's the world would be a much friendlier place if that were the real thing. So
okay. I think we've started ranting now, have we? We started drifting off on our tangents.
Never.
So I'm gonna say in the words of Martin Osterdahl, we're good to go.
Yes.
There we go. So thank you for listening to our Eurovision episode. Follow us. Share if you like what you're listening to. Share it with your friends, and let us know where to go in Malmö, and we'll be doing a little bit in Copenhagen. And if you're going to be at Mikkeller Beer Festival on the Friday, say hello to myself and Lisa. We'll be there. Okay.
And how about sharing your own predictions with us in our comments?
Too.
Whether it's on YouTube or on Instagram, share your own predictions in the comments, and we'll respond and do all the things. It's good to have a debate.
Absolutely,
definitely. And even like as the semi-finals happen, it's like, oh, I think this person is going to win the final. Let's see.
Yeah.
And we're all here to crown the witch. Crown the witch.
The witch. We would love it.
The witch is going to make it. Bambi is going to make it through to the final. I'm confident at this stage.
They're going to do us proud. I'm so here for it. Let the witch era begin.
Yes.
Totally.
Okay.
Cool.
I suppose on that note, we'll say goodbye.
Thank you, friends.
Thanks everyone for listening. Bye.